the Hopeless Podcast. My name is Jason Williams, and today I've got Delphia with me here again, and it's so good to have you back, Delphia.
Hello, everybody. I've been away for a bit.
Yeah, the boys have not been doing so great, so it's good to have you back.
Go away for 2 weeks, and what happens by the time I come back? Everything's in shambles.
I know. Just life, busyness, So it's good to have you back. Today, we're going to be doing more similarities, right? So one of our best performing episode is, it's got more traction than any of our other episodes. It's even overtaken the toilet paper lockdown mental health issues. And that one is the meaning of life. And what is the meaning of life? So that's actually doing really well on our other platforms. And so we want to do something similar because we're doing similarities in this season. And so we've got another one of those questions, right? One of these philosophical questions, which we're pondering which philosophical questions to launch into, but we've decided we're going to go with, is it better to be respected or to be liked? Is it better to be respected or to be liked? First of all, what do you think, Delphia?
I think I would first say to be respected is probably better to be liked, because if you look at Christ, some people didn't like him, but he was respected for the work that he did, where, his enemies were like, never men spake as he spake. He was someone different. Like, you had to respect him for who he was, even if you didn't like him.
Okay.
So it's like, yes, respect is probably one of the things that I'd go for first, but some people are respected because of the power or the wealth they have.
Yeah.
And not because they do anything good. So in that sense, to be liked is sometimes better to be than to be respected. So I think there's a balance that needs to be there. So it's not just you're respected or you're liked. Because sometimes you can do bad things and be liked for it. Sometimes you can do bad things and be respected because of your position.
Yeah, true. So some people in really powerful positions can be well respected, but at the same time, not necessarily well liked. And again, you can be well liked by your other criminal friends in prison, or well respected for that. So which one's better? So this is fortune.com, right? It says, while being both respected in life are possible, being liked is more important. This is what they say. In politics, it's clear that likability is a critical success factor. This is politics, right? So people vote for people who they like, who they trust, people who are smart, who are got capabilities, they've got similar views as them or experience. So they've got a proven track record. And also they've got the leadership skills that, that they need. So this is what, I suppose being likability factor. If we're supposed to do a little test right now, a little poll, being liked, people would sort of look at you and they would go, well, I find this similar. I've got these different, these similar things with this person. And they probably would they would probably vote for you because they've got a lot more similar things with you, or, they'll probably know you more and they'll probably vote for you. But who are some of the most, I would say, probably liked people in the world? Any ideas?
Well, there's, I guess there's different views on it.
Yeah.
Where for me, the people who I may like, other people may not like. The people who I respect, other people may not respect. The people I hate, shouldn't use that word. The people I dislike, may be loved by others.
Yeah.
So my views are different from other people's views, but I can imagine a lot of celebrities being liked. There's a lot of celebrities that aren't liked. Again, it's the
everyone has their
balance.
Thing. But I suppose it's what the majority is sort of swaying for. I looked at here the people in the most liked people in the world, and one of the names that popped up was someone called Charlie D'Amelio. Do you know who that is?
Yes, I've heard of her.
I've never heard of her.
You haven't?
No, I haven't heard of her. Who is this? Is she like famous for something?
Yeah, she's very famous. She's probably, I think she's the #1 TikToker in the world.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Okay, that's probably explains why.
so
That
a
probably
lot
explains.
of people know now about
Really?
Charlie D'Amelio. So she's like the most viewed person on TikTok. She's the
Oh,
most followed.
yeah. And why is that? Like, why is she like, so
I
famous?
have no idea. I don't follow her, but I know who she is. I have heard the name before. I
Hmm.
believe that she's on there with her sister Dixie D'Amelio as well.
All
So
right.
I think she does dances and things like that on there mainly.
Yeah.
So that's basically a short version of who Charlie D'Amelio is.
Well, I'll show my screen and I'll show the viewers what the chat. Oh well, those people that are watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see this. If you're listening and you have no idea who this person is either, maybe you can check it out. Maybe you're one of those one of those people who have no idea what it looks like. I'll just share my screen and just give me 1 second here.
Yeah, that's somewhat, I guess, expected that she would be able to be the most liked person in the world.
Yeah.
So
Oh, jeez.
yeah.
Uh,
Oh, you got it. Okay.
how do I get rid of this?
No thanks.
Thanks. No, thanks. So that's Charlie D'Amelio.
Yeah.
And
I haven't looked at her website before, so this is the first time.
Okay. So, like one of the things that people often look for likability is like, genuine smile, You can tell obviously by the side of the eyes and teeth and the symmetry of the face. So if you got a real symmetrical face, people generally tend to like you quite a lot. Is that interesting? Also, it's what else do you do? What else do you do that people like you for? What other characteristics do you have? So I looked at some of the other more interesting characters on there, the likability list, or those people that are most admired in the world, right? You'd be interested to find out who are on that list, the most admired people in the world. So
yeah,
this was
see how much my likes and dislikes are liked by other people or disliked by other people, I guess.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna go boldly and say, who's my person I admire most in the world? Who's the person you admire most? I'll put you on the spot first of all.
Why me? You asked yourself the question first.
I guess there's a lot of people I admire, but for different things, obviously. I admire Novak Djokovic as a tennis player, world #1 seed. He is pretty good. Yeah. He's pretty strong, athletic guy. He's also vegetarian, vegan, or plant-based, whatever it is. And he does not compromise on his standard, regardless of where he is. And that guy, he plays really well. And also I admire Rafael Nadal as well. It's a good sort of mental game that you have to play. It's not just a physical game when you're out there on the tennis court. It's a big mental game as well. And we saw in the final. Well, I didn't actually watch the final tennis, but I know that the German who was playing against, was it German or? Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't follow it.
He had a hard time because the crowd was actually giving him a hard time. There was only about 30% of the people supporting him. The rest of them were actually supporting Nadal. So, it's a pretty tough game out there. But in terms of sort of, outright people that I would think are probably really strong, not just physically looking after themselves, but also mentally as well. I think Elon Musk is one of those people, even though he probably plans to take over the world eventually. But yeah, he's one of my favorite people that I think that I admire. And he's pretty, he speaks his mind, basically. Yeah, I like that. How about you?
Honestly, I don't follow much, but go Novak Djokovic, because I am part Serbian. And to all the Croatian listeners out there, I have no prejudice against you guys. I love you all very much. So I'll just put that out there, that don't let the Serbian side of me go and get to you. But yeah, he's great. And I always tease my Croatian friends that it's because of the Serbian side in him that, he's such a good player. But honestly, I don't follow people overly much, like celebrities and stuff like that. I was asked who my celebrity crushes. I'm like, I don't know anyone. I don't know anyone's names. Like, how am I supposed to tell you that? So honestly, as celebrities, no idea who I would admire the most.
Well, these are the list of, I would say, let's go with top 20. Top 20, right? World most admired. This is 2019. I'm sure the lists have changed by now. And this is from yougov.co.uk. So it's a UK website, right? Listing the top 20. And of course, in 2019, it was the world most admired man, Bill Gates. Do you believe it? Bill Gates.
Okay.
Yeah, 2019. Yeah, he was the world's most admired man. But 2020 is changed. So he is now number 2 in 2020. So 2019 he was number 1. 2020 he's number 2. I think he's probably slipped down the list even further. 2021.
Hopefully, anyway. But see, that's the thing.
Yeah.
What I was saying before is they loved Bill Gates, but for me, it's just like he wouldn't be the person that I'd put on my most admired people list. So that's one of the things where it's just like, for me, I'd pass, thanks.
All right. Well, let's see if there's any of these people on your list. Barack Obama. He's 2020. He is number 1 there. No?
No. I heard one of my friends.
Sorry?
I heard one of my friends say that, she thought that he was probably one of the best presidents around, but I don't look at it.
We can change the world. Yeah, it was interesting. So he was 9.6, 9.2. The next one was as a 5.7 is Jackie Chan. He's pretty good. I've been watching Jackie Chan movies since I was a kid. He keeps himself physically fit. He doesn't, do all this politics stuff, but he just does his thing, Xi Jinping, that's another one which I didn't think would be up there, but he's at number 4. Anyone else who you think should be on the list, top 20? Based on what we've had so far?
Oh, who we've had so far. It's hard. Because as I've said it so many times, I don't even mention it anymore that I don't follow anything. Yeah.
I'm going to share my screen so viewers can have a look at, these are the top 20s here. Most admired. What do you think of number 14?
Donald Trump.
Donald J. Trump. He was probably one of the most unpopular person when he was in his presidency. The news, they hated him. Some of these people I've not heard about, like Andy Lau. Who's Andy Lau?
No idea.
No idea? Okay. I'm not anyone in that. Salman Khan, probably someone we should look at as well. And Pope Francis. Number 15. If anything, right? He's probably got one of the most influential Twitter accounts. You can see. So
and it's
not,
one of the biggest Christian religions out there, like the Catholic faith. So you would expect it.
Got a huge following. So why is he down to, number 15? That's a good question there. What do you think? Is there more to being liked, more to being admired than just the, world most popular religious leader?
I think, like, honestly, it depends on like who you really are. Like a lot of these celebrities and things like that, you hear that some of them aren't very nice when you actually get to know them. But on the front, they're amazing and everyone loves them. And they've got a major following, but then they're just like their family and stuff is like, they're not too nice with us. So it's just like the like and stuff like that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a good person or that they should be liked. Because you don't know what they are really like inside. And with having like millions of followers,
doesn't mean people could just be following you just because you're a celebrity. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're liked by these people.
Definitely. So I don't know, like honestly, who would I say? I mainly look at like little YouTubers. Like one, she's got over 1 million subscribers. That's Georgia Productions. An Aussie girl who does skits and stuff like that. Find it really amusing with her ADD and stuff like that. She's all over the place and very quite amusing to say the least. But once again, she's like really one of the smaller groups and stuff like that who aren't so well known. But that's someone who I've seen. Would I admire and look up to them and like them? Well, like maybe, she's pretty funny. But like admire and respect, probably not so much. Just because I don't know what she's really like. Like, I don't know if I would want to respect her and what she does.
Okay.
If you get what I mean.
So it's more like people that like, is there people that that you sort of admire and like? Are they've got likability, character qualities? Yes.
So you probably got to bring it closer to home for me to be able to say, yes, I admire this person. And there are a few of my peers. Definitely, I look up to them. I admire them and respect them for what they are doing and what they want to do in the world and in their life. The older folk that I know, they are also the ones who I look up to and respect. Why? Because they have so much life experience and so much they've like been through a lot of the time. And yet they're still like, even with all that's happened, like a lot of them being from the war or losing family, things like that, it's just like they just keep their chin up. You always see them with a smile on their face. And it's just like, oh, you're so sweet. Like, so I think for me, it's like a lot of the people who I know more are the people that I like and respect.
I think the Bible also talks about the older people, that should be respected. And if they you should respect the hoary head. This is the people with the gray hair, you don't get to being gray like, just by living an easy life. And there's some young people that are gray now these days, but it's probably because maybe they're just stressed out, like anxiety and all that kind of stuff. But is there anyone that you would say sort of probably tick both those boxes, being liked and respected?
For me, out of my friends or like people that I know?
Someone that you like, but you also, respect that person as well, or,
I could probably think of a couple, yes. Okay, hopefully they don't like tell me off for saying this on here. Like mentioning their names. One is Bruce. He's one of my friends. He is amazing when it comes to preaching the word of God and knowing his Bible. And he told us, like, he was giving a presentation to the youth at a camp, and he said that he was a Pentecostal before he became an Adventist. He said that when he was 12 years old, he would come home from school, and for 4 hours he would be praying, studying, and memorizing his Bible. And it was just like, whoa, like all his sermons he's memorized. I'm just like, whoa, like, what am I doing compared to that? So he's someone who I like and admire and respect for what he's done. Another person is one of the guests that we've had on, and that's Rachel Lowe. She's one person who has my respect and my admiration for what she wants to do with the youth. That's why I was away for 2 weeks, is I was down with her and some other friends. We were going door to door with message books, giving people hope and health and happiness. So she's another person who I admire and respect. That's out of like my peers. I would say they're two people that I admire and respect.
I think it's very, very bold, very brave as well, because sometimes we admire people and we don't really tell them, you know what I mean? Probably fear that they're gonna probably get a big head or proud or whatever it is. But I think it's a good it's a good thing to do. And there was a young man I was working with when I was a senior anesthetic technician, and he came in and he sort of took up the role. And even though he was a lot younger than me, he was very organized. That's one of the things I like. He knew how to connect with people, and that's a great skill to have.
Definitely. Otherwise, there's older folks as well, I guess, who have gained my respect, like the grandmothers and grandfathers, who we know. So one is probably Albert. He's from our church. He has like the history in his mind. Like, honestly, he goes and shares things from when he was a kid. He's there, he's explaining things. I'm trying to learn German. He's a German man. He's there, he's explaining to me, what happened, and the language of the German people, and then French, because he's like, English is a mixture of French and German, and the French kind of like muddled it up for when you're trying to learn German because it's so different now. So he's someone that I look up to and admire. And, for those of you, especially in Western Australia, there's a pipeline that goes from Mundaring. So that's in the Perth Hills, about 30 minutes from Perth. And it goes out to Kalgoorlie, which is hundreds of kilometers away. And he told me that he was actually the one who welded the pipe all the way up. And it's like, oh, wow, really? You're the one of the builders of that pipe. And it's amazing the history that he has. Someone else would probably be Dawn. I call her Nana Dawn because she's just a lovely lady, explaining to us, what she did when she was a kid and stuff like that. And, you just got to love her for who she is and respect her, because she's, once again, got such a wealth of knowledge. She's probably fitter than what I am. Like, honestly, she's got more spring in her step, to say the least, than what I do.
I do admire people like that. There's quite a few in our church as well. There are octogenarians, most of them over 80, like Val, just so agile, she's broken her hip and all this kind of stuff, but she's keep going. She doesn't have a walking stick. She's up and, going, and there's Jeff as well. Just very, very agile. He still runs, And there's my neighbor, Gary, as well. He was complaining just maybe a couple of years back that, he can only run about 17 kilometers now per week. Like, when he goes out running, only 17. Yeah. Like, he's in his 70s, you know. And like here I am
Oh,
trying
bless
to
his
do like
heart.
5Ks and I'm completely done for like a whole week. um,
Oh, bless his heart.
yeah, I know. Well, you know, he's pretty fit. And that's the thing. We like people that, you know, look after themselves, look after their body, but also people that look out for others as well, you know.
Mm,
If they got a good heart, that's something that I do like, you know, do admire. And people are liked, you know, for that. Even when they get older, even when their face is not as symmetrical as Charlie D'Amelio. um, people, you know, they admire that. So it's not just, you know, famous people, but
mm,
local people as well. And
mm.
I'm pretty sure our listeners can think of people as well. And as we're, you know, mentioning these names, you probably can think of someone who, you know, you've admired, someone who you've liked, someone who you've respected, you know, whatever reason, you know, that you respected them. But ultimately, I think I would agree with you. You do need a bit of a balance between being liked and being respected, you know. But the Bible talks about, you know, it doesn't actually have the word liked there. It's actually not in the Bible, but there is favor. Like,
Mm.
you know, there was one I think I found in Luke when it says that the child is talking about Jesus. He grew in knowledge and in wisdom and in favor with both God and man.
Mm.
So that's a good position to be in, you know, to both be in favor with God and man. It's the same about Samuel as well. Samuel also grew in favor with God and man. And I suppose that's probably a key takeaway for me. Like you could be liked by so many people, but unless you're in favor with God, it doesn't really make a huge difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Like having the respect of people is great. And, you know, being liked is, you know, a great feeling to have. But I think more importantly, as you said, being in favor with God, knowing that He is good with, you know, what you're doing and things like that, and is a, you know, He's represented as a father.
Yeah.
And, you know, we all want to make our dads proud. So, you know, to be able to, you know, be there and like, I've, you know, done my best to make my Heavenly Father proud of what I've done only through Him.
Yeah.
You know, but still, I know that He can say, you know, well done, my child, because you've done good. You've, you know, been in favor, as you said, with God and man. And I think a lot of the time when we think of people who we admire and stuff like that, it's a lot of the time at the end of their life. And, you know, for me, losing like all my blood grandparents have passed since before I was 12.
Okay.
So, you know, when I was there, especially with my grandmother's funerals, it was just like, especially my dad's mum, she was loved by everyone.
Yeah.
Like everybody knew and loved her. You know, she was known as Baba around the town, which is what me and all my cousins called her. You know, just really loved. And it's like, okay, well, when I pass, am I going to be loved and respected like my grandmother was?
Yeah.
So much so that people, you know, were willing to come. You know, I remember my auntie's ex-husband, he was there and he's like, you know, I probably wouldn't have come, but this is Baba. Like I had to come. So it's like she was loved and respected. And we just had someone recently pass away, a family friend, and another older lady, lovely, lovely lady. And she was loved for her kolache, as we call it, or cakes.
All right. Yes, it's a good thing to be loved for your cakes.
Yes, and I'm telling you now, one time I had the privilege of sitting in the back seat with a whole like stack of them, and my cousins were like, "Oh, you can just have basically as many as you want." So I was just like, "Cool, bon appetit." And she was lovely, and there's people there, they're sharing their experiences that they had with her and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they're like, she was so loving. She lost her mum when she was 4.
Yeah.
And grew up for a bit of her life during World War II. Can still remember things from that. I think World War II ended when she was 6. And she's like lost one of her sons. It was stillborn, things like that. But literally everyone was like, she always had a smile on her face. She always cheered up those around her.
Yeah.
And you look at her and you're just like, well, Mima, you went through so much in your life, how can you be happy? And it's just like, she was, and I think that's one, loving people. She was always, others focused. They asked her, they were asking like, what were her hobbies? And they're just like, oh, I don't know. And then the pastor was like, I think she didn't have the normal hobbies that we have. She had hobbies in helping others.
Wow.
So she not only had the love, she also had the respect. When she was married, she went into her new home, and there was 3 men that she had to provide for. She had 3 sons. She sometimes would care for, like, I think they would have conferences and stuff, and she'd go and organize hundreds of people on like where they'll all be sleeping and things like that, and caring for them, and really hospitable. And they're like, she had everything in order. And it's hard to go and have people, especially in order, when they don't respect you and they don't care for what you say. So I think she had won the respect as well.
Okay.
So there was that balance there again with Mima, that she was loving and kind, and firm as well. And she won the admiration, I believe, of a lot of people. So she was a lovely, lovely lady. I have memories of her, when I was a bit younger, when we saw her last, and it's just like, a lovely, lovely lady.
Yeah, I'm now, sort of resolving to think maybe it's better to be loved by a few people than to be admired and sort of respected by many that you don't know, to give yourself like that, to help others, and to sort of, share your life with them in that way is probably more profound than just the TikTok videos or whatever. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that TikTok videos probably impacted millions of people around the world. But at the same time, like, you can have an impact on maybe a few people that could really, really transform them and change them. Like my granddad, he has the same impact on me as well. And he was generous, he was kind, he was loving. And he's one of those people that, when he died, there were so many people there. And I'm pretty sure my mom's going to be one of those people as well. Like, so many people just, they know her and they love her, maybe she hasn't got that, millions of followers. She doesn't have a social media following, but the people that do know her, they can vouch that she is like, she's a great person. And I think that's the thing that we can hope for ourselves as well. We are liked, and we're, I don't know, want to be liked or do you want to be respected? That's the question. I think we'll leave that up to the viewers and up to our listeners to go on and check out our poll. We're throwing in a poll in this one on the which platform is it? Not the Apple platform, the Spotify platform. If you want to jump on the Spotify platform, go on and just fill out the poll. Let us know your thoughts. Do you rather be loved or liked or respected? And you want to drop us a comment as well. Who is your number one most admired person out there? Who do you think is absolutely amazing? You've seen the list here. If your person is not on that list and you think that they should be, how about the Dalai Lama? If you think that he should be on the list or he should be higher on the list, let us know. Drop us a comment in our videos as well, and share our videos and share our podcast as well. And I'd just like to take this time just to thank you, Delphia, for coming back on and sharing the insight as well. Look forward to having Joseph back next week. And we'll do something real special. And we've got a few guests coming up as well. And we want to try and get all those scheduled so we can have a really great time. I really enjoyed this podcast. And this podcast is sponsored by the Avon Valley SDA Church. We leave all our links in the description below, and we'll try and get this one out to you pretty hot today. So thanks again, and we'll see you next week. Same time, same place. All right. Bye.
Bye.